Hello, and welcome back to the Low to High podcast. I'm one of your hosts, John Sullivan, and I'm here today with my co-host, Ann Evans. Say hey, Ann.
Hey, everybody.
For today's episode, we have arguably the funniest lacrosse player to ever step in front of a camera. I mean, besides me, but that's, a man who has changed the way we all use social media in relation to lacrosse, and someone who is overall just a good guy who wants to grow the sport. I'm talking, of course, about my man, Mikey Diggs, a.k.a. Diggstape. Welcome to the show, big guy. How we doing today?
Doing good. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here. Appreciate it. Love what you guys are doing with this podcast. It's dope.
Thank you. We're just trying to give everyone in the sport a voice, let everybody give. I mean, you obviously have a very, very big voice currently, but we're trying to give the people who aren't necessarily the biggest of names also a chance. But when Diggstape says he'll come on,
you don't deny.
Yeah,
Diggstape.
You don't say no.
Nah, it's just a regular laugh track, just like everybody else. Just like to sit in my apartment and make videos about what I see. So other than that, just hanging out with lax rats.
Exactly, man. That's pretty much gonna lead us into our questions.
Yeah, so we can start off with some general lacrosse questions.
All right.
Tell us a little bit about your lacrosse background, and since you have an extensive history in the sport, tell us a little bit about that journey and kind of how you got into the sport and what age you started playing and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm actually from Maryland. I know I live in San Diego now, but I'm from Maryland. I'm from Montgomery County. If you know anything about Maryland, it's the kind that borders DC. I grew up in a really small town, like halfway between DC and Baltimore. Lacrosse wasn't huge. I was actually playing baseball until about fifth grade, and my best friend, Ethan, who's still my best friend to this day, we go snowboarding together and stuff all the time still. He was like, yo, you should stop playing baseball and you should do this. I was like, what's that? He's like, it's lacrosse. You stick in balls for it, and it's like you throw it in the goal and it counts as a point. I was like, I don't know anything about this, but like I'll come watch a game and see if it's something I'd like. I was also playing football, so I was like, oh, it's physical, it's fast, it's hand-eye. Okay, so I just gave it a try and I loved it. And they bought me my first stick for my 11th birthday. So it was back then. I was in middle school, so that's when I put down the baseball glove, and I never looked back. It was just too much fun, man. Like baseball was just like too much standing around, and I was crushing the ball in machine pitch because the ball was in the same place every time, so I was just hitting dingers. But then kid pitch, just like if he throws a fastball too high, like I'm gonna swing at it, so I'm just like striking out. Like, man, this is whack.
You were trying to do him as dirty as possible back then too.
Look, I'm just trying to go yard. If that's ADAP in baseball, then
that's ADAP in baseball. You got bat flip them too, though.
Right? Oh, I should have done that.
Yeah, my best friend's dad actually cut me in 7th grade from the baseball team.
Oh, shoot. That's cold.
That's actually how we became best friends, too. Like, his dad cut me, and when he called to make the cuts, like, he said, you're the most polite kid I've ever cut. I feel bad now. and then, his son is such a good kid. He actually got drafted by the Red Sox. His name's Steven Scott. He was supposed to be a rookie this year, but no minor leagues, so he's just living the life because he still got paid, bro. So
let's go.
I know, he still got paid. He got himself a Chevy Silverado, like decked out, and then he's just traveling around with his friends, it's just a group of 4 of them, and they're going to tight places. And I was like, Steven, why am I not the 5th? Come on, bro.
Right?
Yeah, for real.
Like, come on, let me 5th wheel.
Yeah, but so then we just became really good friends from there. And when I went over to their house for the first time, it was like real weird to see his dad, bro, because it was like, last time I talked to you, you cut me from the team, but it's all behind us now, bro.
Right. Yeah, we can put this behind us.
Yeah.
And be homies.
Yeah, just take me to the lake on the boat, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Good friends to have, man.
Exactly. So you've been playing since then, but what's your favorite younger lacrosse memory? Like, I guess around high school,
Oh, man. So I had a really weird, like, lacrosse upbringing, I guess. So, like, I started playing in Maryland, right? And then I played 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. My high school in Maryland didn't have JV at the time. So it was like you either made varsity or you, like, played, like, in some other league with, like, the kids that didn't make varsity. But I made varsity my freshman year. There was only 3 freshmen that made varsity. So, like, we were all stoked to make varsity. But then on a team of, like, 35, almost 40 kids, it's like, you're just riding the bench. So like I didn't play much my freshman year. And
you got good at cheering.
Injury put me up on second line. Exactly. I got good at cheering. I got good at wearing sweatpants on the sideline. and just watching the seniors do their thing. So like we were stacked that year. There was no way I was touching the field. So my sophomore year, a senior got injured, so I got put up to second line. Like I went from like fourth to second line in one game. They were like, "Yep, you're gonna play now." I was like, "Okay." So, freshman and sophomore year were kind of tough. I was still taking my lumps, and then after my sophomore year is when I moved to San Diego, and I landed at a school that didn't have a lacrosse program. So I played football and I ran track. Because at that point in my life, I was trying to get recruited for football because I was on a hot streak for um, I got mail from a couple of places. I got like mail from like the Syracuse coach, the UCF coach for football, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna be watching you." So I was like, "Okay, let me try to get recruited for that." So didn't go. It didn't go really. I just kind of like was like, "Man, I don't think I just think I just want to play lacrosse. Like, I don't want to do football." So then I transferred out of that school to my third high school for my senior year, to Rancho Bernardo High School. So I think my favorite like lacrosse memory after eighth grade and like the thrill of like making varsity as a freshman, like you skip ahead to my my senior year at Rancho Bernardo, and it was honestly just like that whole season. It was bittersweet because I was making new friends. I was part of a program that I read about in magazines when I was still living in Maryland, Rancho Bernardo High School. Um, so like that whole season was cool because I was away from all my friends at home, but I was making the most out of my senior year there. So it was cool to like wear a jersey that I saw on the cover of Inside Lacrosse 2 years before, and I was like, this is cool. I like this, but that's pretty much it.
That's like when in high school we went up and we didn't play Carmel because they were better than us in Indiana, but we played on the same field as Carmel. We watched their game, and it was pretty tight to watch them play. But like we played some other prep schools in Indy that were like listed in Inside Lacrosse, and I was like, "Look, guys, we've got them on the schedule." And of course, it was
Right.
just like it was like them just toying with us with their third and fourth string, but it
Like
was still a good time.
22 to
Yeah,
2.
yeah, it was still a good time.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh man,
yeah,
that's tough.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Southern Indiana is it was literally just all baseball players who had converted like sophomore year of high school, and one of them had a Rasta stick and things like that. Like it was one of those
Okay,
programs. You feel
Cringe.
me?
got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
You
feel
get the
you.
yeah,
vibe.
yeah. It's much better now. I mean, they have guys in college now, and I was like, I think the third. There was every year there in every grade there was like two guys who took it very seriously, but then the rest of the team
Mhm.
was just kind of like once the season ends, they put their gear in the trunk and it stays there until first practice
Yep.
next year. And,
Yeah.
and like they pick up their head and it's bent sideways and they're like, how did this happen? Dude, you left it in there in the summer in Indiana and you have a black car. I mean, what did
For
like
5 months.
yeah, what did you expect? Like but
Right.
anyways.
You played yourself.
Yeah, really, you
Congratulations.
play
You played yourself.
congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah.
So I know
Mhm.
you've talked about it a lot, like on social media and all that stuff, but tell us a little bit about your college experience and give us a little more bit more insight into what it was like playing.
The show. I went to St. Vincent College, tiny school, right outside of Pittsburgh. Is actually where the Steelers have training camp. So I went to school with a lot of Steelers fans. Um, and it was an interesting experience for me because growing up in Maryland, like not far from the Pennsylvania state line, moving to California in the middle of high school, deciding I missed the East Coast too much, and I was like, any school that gives me a good scholarship package on the East Coast, I'm going there. Like I got to get out of here. It was high school just feelings or whatever. It's like, I gotta get out of here. So I went to St. Vincent, and it was cool because it was a part of Pennsylvania I'd never seen because all I ever knew was like Philly or like Hershey area, like southern Pennsylvania, and then like crossing the mountains and going west, it was like a totally different state. So it was really interesting, like dealing with new weather patterns, even though it was only 3 hours from the house I grew up at. I actually ended up going to school about an hour away from my best friend Ethan. He got recruited to Washington Jefferson, which was right down the road. I tried to get him to come to St. Vincent with me. He said no. Kind of still salty at him about that. Um, but it was fun. Uh, Met a lot of great guys, and it's something about the town of Latrobe, where the college is. It's just something about that town that like unifies people, and I'm sure a lot of other places have something like that. But it's just like you get there, and it's like this understood shared mentality. It's like it's just this little tiny town in the middle of nowhere, but no matter where you came here from, it's like you fit in, And I actually heard that from a lot of different recruiting classes from different ages throughout the years, that like it's just when you get on their recruiting trip, the thing that sold them on St. Vincent was at other schools they felt like they would have to try to fit in, like they would have to try to find their friends. But when you go to St. Vincent, even on your recruiting trip, it's like no matter who you are or where you're from, it's like you fit in right away. And it's really hard to put your finger on that, like not only as a recruit, but like as a player that's played in the program. It's like, how did all of us fit together so quickly? Like all like my class 2012, we're all best friends to this day. Like we were in a group chat, we text every day. I was in a fantasy football league with them for like 12 years. And we live all in different states, like from literally from Maine to California. Like we're scattered everywhere. Um, so to me, the that experience was more like finding like my lifelong best friends. Like that was really cool, to have that, and then to play pretty high level lacrosse. We played, I don't know if you've heard of schools like Denison, Ohio Wesleyan, um,
My first school
Kenyon,
was
Worcester.
my first school was Illinois Wesleyan. So
Okay.
yeah, I know all those schools. Yeah, those were
Yeah.
like gonna be our rivals in the tournament type of thing. So
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah. You know the vibes.
I do. I
So
feel like I really think Midwest college like D3 lacrosse is really taking a turn for like the positive in terms of becoming just powerhouses, because there's a lot of kids from like Chicago and Michigan and other states that don't really want the D1 grind but want to play high level lacrosse, and they love the North, and they're like, man, Denison's right here, Illinois Wesleyan, Ohio Wesleyan, ONU, or ONU, where Coach St. Laurent
yeah.
is at. Yeah, like
Hmm.
there's tons of places to go in the Midwest.
And the same
Yeah.
the same
Yeah. We played a
things.
lot of Midwest schools.
Oh, sorry. The same thing's kind of happening like down in the South. Like in our conference, I know, or at least like on the women's side, we have like a pretty big powerhouse, Meredith College, and they make the tournament every year. They're always nationally ranked, and it's just because like a bunch of girls down here don't get enough exposure, so they have to go to like these small schools because there's no like travel teams in the South. So
There's some big name ones, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's not an opportunity to go for every single person who wants to play travel. Men's it's easier, but women's, yeah, there's definitely not as many like travel
And
teams other
you
than the
gotta
big name
travel like
ones.
10 hours to
Yeah.
get to a big name tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the Midwest
Man.
struggle at first, man. Like that was for real.
Yeah.
I drove 4 hours each way to Indy for practices. I would practice for 2 hours and I would drive home.
4 hours each way.
No incidents either, by the way. I made it every single time because that was before they built like the winding highway through Indiana where it actually gets you there in like 2.5. But yeah, I would drive from
Oh.
Evansville to Indy, and I would, pick up my friends in Bloomington, and then we would keep going. And yeah, it was pretty
How often did you do that?
2 or 3 times a week in the summer. My junior summer going into senior year, and then my senior summer. Is the
What?
only there was my senior summer there was an Evansville travel team that I also played for, but it was like we went to like only local Indiana tournaments. That was the only way to get like your name out there, was to go play for one of the Indianapolis based travel teams. And that's the thing that people
Wow.
don't realize about like not being in lacrosse hotbeds. If you want to play travel, you have to literally travel to get to just
Yeah,
practices.
it's a grind.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to play for a really good team, I would either have to I'm from South Carolina, so I would have to go to Jacksonville, Florida, or like
Yeah.
Atlanta. Those are like the only good teams, like
Would,
prestigious
would
teams.
you drive to Jacksonville and Atlanta to do those things?
No, I mean I played with a team that was like 45 minutes away from like my house, but we would only go to tournaments in like South Carolina and North Carolina and Georgia. But if I wanted to play at like a higher level, I would have to like travel the two or the 3 hours.
If you legit
Okay.
wanted attention on you, you would have to like travel at least 4 hours to get to a team that you could practice
That's
with.
insane.
And most of them were like, look, you can play for us, but you have to be at least at one practice a week. And I was trying to get better because the coaches in Evansville were all football coaches who were learning as they went. And now they're great lacrosse coaches because they've had 6, 7, 8 years on the job. But at that time, it was like their first or second season, and they were still learning with us. And I had moved from North Carolina, so I had a little bit of a leg up in terms of like my knowledge of the game. But I still was completely just like an unmolded lump of clay. So I would try to go to like Indy to get that to get that coaching. And I mean, my parents were with my sister because she played D1 basketball, so she was definitely the one who they would go to her tournaments because they were like
Dang.
the top 5 teams in the country were there and things like that. And mine were
Uh-huh.
just like, John's going to play in Wisconsin this weekend. All right, John, see see you later. And I
Okay,
told
see ya after
yeah.
the weekend's over.
No, I totally understood it. I was like, I get this. Like, you understand basketball. This is an alien sport to you, what I play. So it was
Mhm.
fine by me, but like, they would just get me a hotel room and send me on my way. And like,
Man,
I would drive.
did you like that about like the being able to kind of like do that a little on your own? Like, because
That
some
part
kids
was
want their
tight.
really fun with their family to be there, but yeah.
I wish they had been there for some of my better games because the best games I ever played were in travel tournaments. And like the one that got me recruited to Illinois Wesleyan, I'm sure of it because I saw Coach Iannucci like write in his book after I did this, was I stripped the ball from this kid at X. I picked it up. I toe dragged 3 people in a row, like just whoop, 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 walked the dog down the sideline. I threw a massive fake, wound up like I was going to shoot, and then fed the attackman standing on the crease. And he scored, and I just started jumping up and down and screaming. And like I still get goosebumps talking about it because it was the best play I've ever had in a game. And I looked over, and every single coach scribbling
Let's
in their notebooks.
go!
And like that's
Saw them ball
yeah.
points going.
And my dad had to leave the game before because he had to get to my sister's turn. Or no, he had business. He had business to get to, so he didn't see that game. But he saw every other game of that tournament. But that was the one where I balled the hardest, and I got invited to the All-Star game. And so, and that also Coach Ampla at Marquette, he said, like that was a great play, and I was like, yes, a D1 coach told me I did something cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
That's a good feeling, man.
it
That's
is,
a really
man.
good feeling.
But it,
Shoot.
we've gotten off on a really big tear, so
Whatever,
I
man.
guess
That's what these pods are all about, man.
I
The
know,
side
I know.
conversations. That's where the interesting stuff happens.
I
as well.
agree. Yeah, it's just we're still trying to build our listener base, so we're trying to figure out what people like. We'll see if they like this one because this one's definitely going to be a bit of a tear.
Yeah.
So
Terrific.
what was your pregame like meal and routine? Did you have any superstitions? Lucky socks? Have to tape your stick? Anything like that?
Oh man. They kept changing up until college. So like in high school, I tried things um like taping my stick. Like I would like watch college lacrosse and like watch how different guys tape their sticks and be like, I kind of like that. Let me try that. So I would always tape my stick the night before. I didn't tape on game day. Because I wanted to like have some time like while I'm like watching a game from college game from last weekend to like really get the tape right, put the lighter under it and get the glue down so it doesn't tear on me, like that kind of thing. Like really like taking care of and making sure all my knots are tight. Like I did all that the night before. But then when I got to college and like actually had a locker room and like could walk, it was just like college lacrosse was like, because I was a lax rat from the time I was 11. So all I wanted was just a college lacrosse experience. It didn't matter where it was. I wanted to be able to like leave my dorm, like squat out with my boys, go to the locker room, like jerseys are hanging up. Like, so for me, it was like, I lived my own dream for that 4 years, even if it wasn't Hopkins or Syracuse. I didn't care where it was. So my ritual was like, I wanted to go. I wanted to get there in time to like put my eye black on, and then go
Crucial.
out for warm ups. Yeah, you do my own eye black in the mirror, and then go out for warm ups. And I had the same like warm up routine pre warm ups, like when people like shoot arounds with just like t shirt and helmet and gloves. That's where I had my routine. So I would go out, and what I would do is to like, I learned a couple of exercises I really like from my 1 year running track that I talked about earlier. That introduced me to a whole set because I was a sprinter. I did 4x4, 4x1, and the 100. And I learned like from that, I learned like a couple of different like stretches that I ended up liking to like get my calves warm, get my hamstrings warm. So I started to do those sort of things. Uh, and one thing I still kind of do sometimes in men's field to this day is I skip around the box, like literally like I'm skipping through like a field of flowers because it's like it gets my calves nice and warm for some reason. And it's just like I get a chance to like breathe deep and kind of be on my own, far away from everybody. So like around like the restraining box, I'll like skip around the box and I'll do my own set of stretches. and I'll do like two righty alleys, two lefty alleys, and like a couple hitches, like a couple splits, and then I'll wrap it up and go put my pads on. But as far as meals, I was the weirdo that like I didn't like eating on game day at all. I like to kind of like you too.
Yeah. Mostly because my stomach.
Yeah.
I have a weird stomach, but yeah, like actually my first year here at Peace was definitely the worst year for my stomach problems. But like our first game, I ate one saltine and a half a bottle of water.
You gotta
And
get
I
like
went
a
out and
granola
played.
bar or something.
Yeah, no, like I ate one saltine because I was like, bro, if I put anything else in my mouth, I'm gonna throw it up. So
Right.
I guess we're doing this. And, yeah, so like that was me definitely. Before games, like I wouldn't go to Subway with the team or things like that. Like I would eat lunch during the day, but then like in high school, I wouldn't eat before our 4 o'clock like face off, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah. I liked playing on an empty stomach for some reason. I don't know. Like even if I had like a light meal, like a half a sandwich, it would just sit weird in my stomach when I was trying
yeah,
to play. And I was like, I want to feel fast.
me
Because
too.
like
Yeah,
speed was my game. Like
not
I need
mine.
to feel fast to be fast. So
If
hey,
I,
man, everybody's got a game.
if I'm
Yeah.
hungry, I always feel like I'm so slow because I have no energy because I'm just like, oh, I need food.
Mm-hmm.
I would always eat like
Yeah, that's most
lunch.
people.
I would eat lunch, but then in high school, I was never a big snacker. Now I'm a snacker because I'm bored. But like in high school, I was never bored, so I was never a big snacker. So
Yeah.
I would eat a big lunch, but then I would go until the 4:30 face off with nothing but like water, maybe a Gatorade, just to get me some a little bit of sugar in my system. But
Some electrolytes.
yeah, I was not a speed guy. I was pretty quick, and like people would test me because they're like, ah, he's 6'6", he can't move, and then I would move, and they were like, ah, okay, so he can move. Maybe I just won't go at him. So like, my big game was always slides and then clearing. So like, I just had a good sense of when people were gonna try and check me, so I'd move my stick, but I was never faster. Like I was not gonna break away from you in the open field. That was not
Fair
my
enough.
game. Yeah. And if you got in my
Yeah.
way, I
Oh,
was just gonna truck you.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
You say you're 6'6"?
Yep.
He's a large fella.
Oh, bro, get off the tracks.
Yeah.
Don't let 6'6" put his shoulder down, bro.
No,
Just
and
throw
in
that
high
little stick
school-
check and get out the way.
Yeah, in high school I was 250 and just pure athletic, and like I was trucking
Oh
people.
my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was fun.
Get off the tracks.
Yeah. It was a good time.
So,
Sounds like it.
do you string your own sticks or does someone string them for you? If it's you, how'd you learn to do it?
Ooh, so I went through a phase where I really wanted to string my own sticks. But this is like the 2000, like the late 2000s when like stick stringing wasn't really an art yet. It
Just
was,
hard
like,
mesh.
whatever you could get away with. Yeah, just hard mesh.
Just
whatever
hard
you could
mesh,
get away with. Exclusively. Hard
And you had to
mesh.
put a knife and the ball in the stick. You feel me?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
when I was trying to learn to string. Not 2002. I was too young then, but like yeah, like 2008 it was still like that. And I was still
Right.
yeah.
That's when I was doing it. Like
Yeah.
I guess I tried to learn how to string my own sticks around 2005. Every time you bought like a Warrior hard mesh kit, it would
Yeah.
come with the instructions like, okay, do your knots like this. And it was like pre-YouTube. So I tried to do that. So like, and then now with Greg dropping all those videos in like 2010, 11, 12,
Yeah.
and like how to do different knots, I was like, now's the time to teach myself. So I got a spool of Gemalax nylon sidewall, and I just got to work one summer. So like I learned a couple knots. I learned how to like put the pocket in different places. So like I guess my proficiency in string would be like if I was like when I coached around that time, a kid would be like, hey, like my top string broke, and I can string you a new top string in like 4 minutes. Like it's halftime. Okay, coach, you got him. I got his top string. Here you go.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, my sidewall busted. I can like copy the pattern and be like, okay, this will work for today. Like I can do that. But as far as my own sticks, I actually don't string my own sticks because like they're too. It's such an art and a science now, and like my brain just cannot keep up with how much has evolved over the last even 5 or 6 years. So my gamer right now, Sidewall Jedi, I actually strung that. And that's something where like I had this kid I coached back in like 2013. He was a high schooler at Rancho Bernardo, and it was my first year coaching varsity. He strung my sticks for a little while, but he used a Sidewall Jedi technique on my favorite stick he ever strung me. So I was like, one day I'm gonna get Sidewall Jedi to string me a stick. And then Diggstape took off, and then Sidewall Jedi becomes
Yeah.
a fan of the page. And
Lucky you.
I'm like, yo, what would it take? Lucky me, right? I was like, all right, so Lars, what would it take to get you to string me a stick? And he was like, I'll trade you for a shirt. I was like, done. I'm ordering it right now. Send it to your house. So my gamer is a Sidewall Jedi stick, and I'm gonna try to get him to string me another one. That dude's like, that is the nicest pocket I've ever thrown with, because like when my first couple games playing with it, I had never had more confidence in a stick. Like if my arms told the ball to go somewhere, it was within like 2 inches of where it was going to go. Like I've never had a stick that accurate before. It's
That's
so
wild.
good.
Yeah, I don't claim to be the Sidewall Jedi or anything like that, but I can string. Like every year for my birthday, starting sophomore year of high school, I asked for 3 100-yard spools of sidewall, like a bunch of shooters, and like 10, 15 pieces of mesh, and my parents would order from Gemalax. One year I got meshed out by Gemalax. You know, you remember when they used to do that? The mesh out?
No, tell me about that.
So they would like pick an order, and they had their really colorful meshes and stuff like that, you remember? And like their money one, and then they had like their USA one and a rainbow one and things like that. They would mesh you out. They would send you a free stringing kit, and you would string it up and post it, and then they would repost you and stuff. And they actually sent me one that was like rainbow colored, and it turned out sick. It's in one of my old superpowers, and I'll never unstring it, even though I'm a way better stringer now, just because it's sitting there and it's like, man, this is from high school. Like it's
history.
It's awesome. And like, especially because nobody, you know, like is ordering tons of stuff from Gemalax anymore, unless you're just an old school like guy. But you know, it's that brought so much back when you said Gemalax. I was like, oh man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I would string everyone's stick, because ECD Greg, I buttered him up last week, telling him how much he taught me. And like I learned how to do that, and I would say I probably strung between 750 and 1,000 heads by the time I was like a junior in college.
You were stringing back in the day, 300-yard spools every year. I still have the 100-yard spool I talked about. Like it's only halfway done.
I would get one.
Yeah,
I would get one white. I would get one royal blue, and then I would get one that was like the black and white speckles, so I could give people those options, because I was like, look, I like clean. I hate when people do like multiple colors in their mesh and stuff. When Gemalax sent me one, I was like, I'll string this up because it looked good, and it was an all white kit with it. So it went real clean, but like it just, I don't like crazy colors. And so I was like, you can have white, you can have royal blue, or you can have black and white, and you can have white mesh. Those are your options. And I will string you a pocket. And
everyone, the way you slowed that down, Sammy.
Yeah, I was like, here are your options. 1, 2, 3, none accepted other than that. If you bring your own stringing kit, I'll tell you to go take it back and get a white one. Like
this is what you get.
Yeah, no, because I was like, already people don't take us seriously here. And when you rock like just a Rasta stick and like red and orange gloves, and your team's colors are blue and white, it's like, dude,
you look like a clown.
Yeah, I know that there are black.
Literally.
I know there are black gloves at Play It Again right now. Like, just go cop those. Sell yours, cop those. It's gonna cost you $10, and we're gonna look like an actual team. Please, for the love of God.
Yes, for legitimacy's sake.
Yeah,
we need you to abide by some cultural rules here.
Because like,
to assimilate a little bit.
Oh my God, Louisville Mail came and played us, and they had solid gold helmets that looked like the Notre Dame ones, like flashy. They had a like a checkerboard green, or not green, a checkerboard purple and gold on their sleeves, and their uniforms were all gold, and they came out looking just so clean. And I was the only person on my team with a R that like matched our school colors, and white and blue gloves, and I wore white and blue socks and cleats, and like I kept it clean within the color scheme of our uniform. And they came over to me and they were like, dude, what is up with like the tie-dye sticks and stuff like that? And I was like, bro.
The other team did that?
Yes, yeah. They were like, you're the only one out here throwing fakes. You're the only one dressed appropriately. What is the deal with your town? And I was like, man, I'm trying to get them on the same page. And now everyone like rocks the same gear, and the schools are starting to sponsor the teams, even though it's not an IHSAA sport yet. Like, the schools are starting to sponsor the teams, so they're getting matching gear. But for a while there, it was just like you'd find a red and black helmet on somebody on my team with the all whites on, and it was like, dude, no, please, come on, at least get a white helmet. I don't care if it's all white, just get a white helmet.
Right. That's basics, man.
Yeah.
That's camaraderie though. When the other team comes, I was like, bro, what is going on?
Yeah, I know. And like,
you need to set these boys right.
Yeah, and just from there, like, that was a great game for me because I balled out a little bit, and like I was talking smack to them, but they knew it was just out of fun because like they were good, and I was going against good competition, and I was having fun doing it. So like they were chirping me back a little bit, but after the game, they all came up, hey, bro, great game. Like, you know, and it was fun.
Those are the best games.
Yeah, those are the
when
ones.
It's somehow understood. That's like a little bit of trash talk is okay. But that's because like we're cool, right?
Yeah, like we were talking before the game. Like, we went and got our sticks checked by the ref, and they were like, why is nobody else on your team doing this? I was like, I don't know, bro. Yeah. I was like, I'm getting my stick checked, making sure it's all legal, and I look over, and the rest of my team is like throwing balls at each other and stuff. It was just, man, it was fun. I truly did like my high school experience though, man. But so besides TLN, what are you doing? Like, what's your lacrosse outlet currently? Like, do you play pickup, something like that?
I mean, with the Rona going around, all that stuff's kind of shut down. But I play men's league here, and I'm part of a club where we play year round. We play 4 seasons a year. San Diego Lacrosse Club is our name. Very generic sounding, but comes up great on SEO. We get a lot of great talent. So, I mean, we have ballers on our team. Ballers. Whipsnakes starting attackman Jay Carlson plays with us. Andrew Newbold, he's a defenseman, but he led the MLL in
Outlaws,
2-point goals in 2019. Yeah, Outlaws guy. He plays with us. We just have ballers everywhere. It's like we have guys from Maryland, from RT, like everywhere. We just draw a lot of talent. We just stick together, play a lot of different seasons. We play ULAX, but like we enter as a team. So like when in regular times we do things like we've never lost a ULAX game. We've won 3 out of the last 4 summer league titles around here. And in spring we're starting to like stick it to our rivals who always find a way to beat us. So like we're coming up. So playing is like my number one outlet. Sucks to not be playing right now. So TLN's great, and like Diggstape videos are great, but like when it comes to lacrosse, I try to like compartmentalize and like really find the stuff I love about it and protect it. And Diggstape it's great, but it's a lot sometimes. It's a lot because not just the making the videos, but when it becomes something where you're talking to brands all the time and people are reaching out for content and dads are reaching out saying, hey, my son needs to get recruited. Can you repost this? Can you commentate this? Can you,
Lord.
It's just like, my inbox says 99 plus all the time.
And he still finds the time to reply to me. What a good guy.
Look, man, I always look through and I'm like, okay, like, I like talking to people who are genuine about stuff, and and don't, the first thing they do when they knock on my door is ask me to make content for them. It's like, you pick and choose and you find stuff out. But I'm just trying to still have as much fun with it as I can. As soon as I can get playing again, man, I can't wait to get my stick in my hand again.
Yeah,
it's killing me.
It's killing me too, because I was training this kid. He just started playing. He was an 8th grader, and he got 2 games into the season, and the season ended. So actually, our first interaction was I tweeted you that I was about to go detwig some 6th graders, and you were, and you quote tweeted it, and I was like, "Hey, Diggs quote tweeted me, let's go!" And I did indeed detwig some 6th graders that day.
Good.
Yeah, no, not like Kyle Harrison. I could never do it like him, but I was out there poke and lift. Yeah, but
dude, Kyle Harrison's just undressing. Just give me that.
Yeah, no, those are the nastiest checks. But no, I felt so bad for him. But then, I started training him on open fields here in Raleigh, and I actually moved a goal to one of the fields right down the street from here. And the lady who was running a camp at the rec center that's attached to it got all Karen on me, and she came out and started yelling at me that I couldn't be there because it was reserved for the camp, even though it was 98 degrees and 4:30 in the afternoon and camp ended at 5. And I was like, well, look, if the police come and tell me to leave, I will leave this public field. Like, I'll do
else do you
that.
want me to do?
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I'm socially distant. I'm with one other person. Like, you approached me with the problem. And then the next day I went to do it, and she had gone and bought fence and just like covered the openings in the fence where you were allowed to get in at. Because there's like not a fence area. There's just an opening to go into the field. And she put a fence door over that opening. And she chained my goal to the fence, and it still sits there chained up.
Tragic.
Yeah, I told her, I was
That's
like,
your goal?
Yeah, the day before I was like, this is my goal. I brought it here so that I could do these lessons with this kid who doesn't have another outlet. Can you please just like back off a little bit? And
excuse me?
Yeah, and then she chained my goal up, and I can't even get into the field to unchain it and take it home or anything.
We'll go get some bolt
problem
cut.
up in there, bro.
It is I called the city. I called the city.
Bolt cutters.
I called the city, and they were just like, yeah, we can't do anything about that. But it ruined the men's league too, because the men's league was out there, and we had a couple cops in the men's league, so they were like chill about it. They were like, as long as everybody spreads apart on the sidelines and is, good, and nobody's sharing waters and things like that, we can play. And so we were out there playing every Sunday. Karen. No. Yeah.
I'd be up in there with bolt cutters. Like, oh, so you telling me the city can't do anything about this? Okay, then the city can't do anything about me taking my goal back then.
Yeah,
so you can take these broken chains and you can go and put them in the back of your car where they belong. That's my goal, and you're not gonna chain my goal up.
I'm getting a truck this week.
Up in there, bro.
I'm getting a truck this week, so I'll definitely just do that. I'll take my goal back.
I'm not about getting played like that, bro.
No. Yeah.
Nope.
So where did the idea for an account like Diggstape come from? You've mentioned Lacrosse wanting to be a little bit more like NBA Twitter. So is that kind of what prompted you to like start all the commentating and all that stuff?
Oh man, it's a really mixed bag of inspirations. I mean, I've had as the semblance of like Diggstape in its current form, or even the form when it started, was never a clear vision in my mind. It was very cloudy. It was very like not formed. It was just an idea of like, I wonder if there is a platform to like make jokes about lacrosse and just post them on the internet. I was like, I don't know exactly how that looks. Or, yeah,
we're trying to do the same thing.
Exactly.
Not your exact style, but like we're trying to do funny
Be
lacrosse
funny.
content. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it came from a lot of different places. I mean, it came from just like the feeling of sitting around with your boys as D3 lacrosse players, and you're watching D1 guys on the weekend after your game. It's like, God, they're so much better than us. You just laugh at the disparity in talent. It's like, that guy's my age, that guy's younger than me.
Oh my God.
How?
Don't even get me started.
Exactly. So
yeah,
right?
that scares
so that
me.
Feeling,
There's like 15-year-olds that could whoop me.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Joey
So when you get
Spallina
that
followed
feeling,
us the other day, and I messaged him, and I was like, hey, man, whenever you want to come on, he said, wait for me to commit, and I'll come on. And I was like, hey, bro, I mean, if you want to do it on the show.
I don't know if you should be announcing this.
Right?
No, I'm not.
You won't do it on the show, though.
No, I was like, hey, man, you can do it on the show. Just kidding. But, I mean, hey, like, we're here.
Yeah.
No, he said, he said he'd come on soon. But, yeah, he would torch me. I mean, it would just be hilariously bad. I'd fall over. I would get dusted every single time. He'd take me to the rack 10 out of 10.
Cross me, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
10 out of 10 times.
Cross me up.
Yeah, he's just so nasty,
he's
man.
gotta accept it.
Yeah.
He is.
And even when he's not dodging you, he's just got such a quick release.
Oh my gosh.
It's ridiculous.
His fakes are insane.
I need to peep his highlight tape. Yeah, his fakes are insane. When he did that one hand legs joint, that was crazy.
There was this one.
ADAP.
He like stopped, did a little head fake, and then like the defender turned his head, and then he just like went around the defender, and I was like, oh my gosh. You just embarrassed this man.
But like when I was in high school, man, going behind the back was fancy. That was like fancy. And when Desco went between his legs at Syracuse, that was like the start of everybody getting crazy in lacrosse. Because before that, it was just the Powells and the Gates who were really flashy. But then it was like, oh, he's doing it. And then like people started doing things more often. And then the Thompsons really kicked it off even further.
Can't forget about Grant.
Yeah. But like Yeah, John Grant Jr. was flashy, but he was just like one of those people where it was like, well, I'll never be as good as him. I don't like
Right.
people say, well, you can work hard as dude, shut up. I'll never be as good as him. I will never be as
I
good
can
as
work
him.
real hard.
Yeah.
But
He
I'll
possesses
get about here.
yeah, he possesses some serious like just IQ that I don't have
There's
for the
some
game.
magic powers in
Yeah,
there.
there's something like I
Wizard,
don't know.
man.
He must take some potion or something every year just to make
Right.
sure that
My
he is.
secret stuff.
Yeah, he's just got a cauldron and he's stirring it right now, getting ready for next
Straight
year.
up. Exactly.
So obviously you're a funny content creator, and you know
Thanks, man.
how to bring positive views to the sport of lacrosse. It wasn't that alone though that got you the job at TLN. So how did the TLN deal really come together? Like, how did they reach out to you, or did you reach out to them and you were like, hey, Weekly Watch has been sitting there. What's up?
Yeah. It actually it took me by surprise. They actually came to me because PLL bought TLN from their previous because TLN sold to I forget the name of the company now back in like 2014 or 15. They sold to a company. And a lot of PLL's in-house talent is the former TLN team. So I mean like RJ, Jordan Japarsky, like it was like they was like, yo, come do this stuff with us. So it was kind of a natural evolution for PLL to buy them, and I had an existing relationship with PLL because Paul Rabel DM'd me at like when I had like 3,000 followers. He was like, "Yo, what's your email address?" And that's the moment where I knew that like Diggstape was something way bigger than I thought it would become. Because again, I was just like, let me just slap some stuff on the internet and see what people think. It wasn't like this big elaborate plan to be like, I'm gonna be the funny guy in the sport. Like it wasn't anything like that. So it him DMing me and like I was like, oh great, what does this guy want? So like like in a good way, it was like, oh here we go. Like it's gotta be something crazy. So last year I had a relationship with PLL because they wanted to bring me in full time as a social media person before the 2019 season even started. And that didn't work out, but it did kick off a really great relationship with like me and Paul and Tyler Steinhardt. And, you know, I knew Brett Roberts is Paul's video guy. I knew Brett Roberts from Shootout for Soldiers from years ago. So I had connections in the league already. And then they kind of were just like building a relationship with me because I was making content, and, you know, they had me out for All-Star Weekend. They flew me up to San Jose last year. So all this coalesces when they buy TLN. They didn't. They obviously kept it a secret for as long as possible, but it turns out they were thinking about content ideas as the deal was getting finalized. And then like the day the deal got finalized, Paul and Tyler Steinhardt got on a call with me, and they were like, "Yo, two things." One, because because Tyler Steinhardt actually hit me up. Here's the surprise of it. Tyler Steinhardt hit me up, and he was like, "Yo, got something important that we want to talk to you about. I don't want to like give it away just yet, but like just know that like when we schedule a call with you, like it's important." I was like,
Pick up, please.
Okay, yeah, like
You
pick
better.
up the phone.
Money's calling, bro. Answer.
Right. So I was like a week before, and again, I knew nothing. So they hit me with two pieces of news back to back. They were like, "Oh, by the way, we bought TLN and we want you to do the weekly watch." I was like, "What?"
That was like,
so like, yeah, exactly. They hit me with it twice.
You were like,
So,
whoa.
Exactly. Like me, like the show RJ did, the show Colin and Samir did. Like you want me to fill those shoes? So it's like that really hit me by surprise. And then from there, it was a conversation of like, okay, well, what does that look like? What does the contract look like? You know, what's the commitment look like? All that kind of stuff. So they reached out to me, and it was a total surprise. So we talked about it, and eventually it was like, well, if you guys are going to give me, you know, creative freedom, and the editor Nick Bailey, we had a relationship because we kicked it all weekend, last All-Star Weekend last year. So it's just like I'm friends with everybody involved, and they're going to support me, and, you know, the contract looks right. So I was like, yeah, let's give it a try and see how it works. So actually I have to record the next episode today, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, then we can't take too much more of your time then.
That's cool. Again, it's noon here, so we're chilling.
Yeah. I always forget that because it's three something here.
Yeah.
We've been going for a while. Yeah, it's 3 here.
I'm chilling.
Yeah, man. So did Colin, Samir, and RJ have any like really good advice for you on how to take it over, or did they just hand you the keys and say, like, go do your thing, bro?
They had a lot of good advice. I only talked to Colin and Samir. I talked to Samir on the phone for like half an hour, and then I did the intro episode with Samir and Colin. Um, but they had good advice. So just like be yourself, engage with the camera. Remember that people are watching this, and they're not just watching a video. They're trying to engage in a relationship with you, the host. Um, all things because I mean, like, look at my Diggstape videos. How often do you see my face? Never.
Never.
I'm just not like
It's
an on
highlights,
camera
yeah.
guy.
Who is this man?
It's just it's exactly when you see my face, it's like, who is that? It's like
That's
you know my voice because I'm talking, right?
He's
exactly.
an anonymous
So,
guy.
right. I wanted to be. That's literally how I wanted the page to start. Is I wanted it to be more anonymous, and then it just got out of control. So now I'm like, okay, I gotta like sack up and like steal my nerves, get my face on camera, and just be that person because I mean like I'm a creative outside of lacrosse too. Like I'm a writer by trade. I do photography and stuff.
Both
so like
of us would do
I
that
looked
too.
at your website.
I'm an English minor and a photographer too, and she's in the media program and she's a photographer and videographer.
Hey, let's go.
I looked at your
I didn't
website.
know you guys shot.
Yep,
Hey,
we do.
appreciate okay.
I forgot the password
Yo.
to my Instagram, so I don't even give it out anymore, but it's out there somewhere.
Peep my Instagram.
Yeah, peep hers though. Hers is
Yeah.
legit.
I do want to check it out. I
Yeah.
want to check it out. I haven't been shooting very much lately. I do want to get back.
I haven't
into it
either,
more.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
We gotta. It's just like there's not much to go shoot. We like to shoot events and stuff, and like, yeah,
Sports.
there's not
Big
too much to
sports gal.
shoot. Yeah, we like the sports over here. We
The
are
sports,
we are
yes.
fans of all of the sports, but this
Got
one
it.
in particular.
They are good.
Yeah.
Sorry, we kind of got off track there. Kind of interrupted you.
Oh yeah, my bad, man.
But what
Nah.
direction do you kind of want to take the weekly watch in, like in the future? Tough one.
So all this is tough because for me, I'm such a go with the flow person.
Me
Like
too.
when it comes to like how things should like evolve creatively, I don't get like even with Diggstape, literally how I record. Where's my phone? How I record Diggstape to this day is I put highlights on my TV and I do this with my phone and I talk.
You didn't have
That's
to
it.
tell me
It's
that.
like
I knew
no
that.
budget.
I knew that
Right?
because I
But,
can
like-
tell because it's grainy. It's not like you're editing and overlaying anything. I can tell that you're just holding it up, and it gets the
Right.
job done. Like it's not like you need to do anything else. People understand
Right.
what's happening.
To your point, sometimes that's all it needs to be because I got caught up when I was starting. Okay, because again, photography guy. I'm like, how do I make this high quality? How do I make this something people will share? And then I was like, what am I waiting for? Just like put something on the internet and see how people react to it. So that's just my response. It's like when I'm thinking about where I take the weekly watch, there's so many different directions that I would just rather like almost watch it evolve rather than like actively do it. It's like, well, where does it go? Because we're dealing with so much uncertainty in the space where it's like we don't know what college lacrosse is going to look like or if it's going to happen. So it's like, do things shift to video essay style videos? Does it become a highlight show? Does it become like more of like a sports center vibe? Does it become a vlogging entertainment space? Like there's so many different directions it could go, and it's all going to be a reaction to what happens in our space. Because content wise, A, that's what we're limited to, and B, it's going to drive what I'm excited to talk about as an individual, because as the host, I need to be excited about what I'm talking about. So it's like there's going to be some things where I'm like, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to, feign excitement for something just because it's happening, that sort of thing. So as far as evolution, there's so many different directions it could go. I really like the last episode that I did about the horn. I don't know if you guys saw that.
He talked about that earlier.
I had to tell her what it was, so I was gonna like that's in the questions. Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We'll get there. But
Yeah.
yeah, like videos like that. I like doing stuff because I'm kind of like a lightweight. I'm kind of like a lacrosse historian. Like 2002 and on, like I can recall things just because I've been a fan for that long. It's like, how did Duke repeat? I want to go back and look at the recruiting classes because
they were dirty.
how did yeah because
That's how.
because they were dirty
Because they were
When
dirty,
they had
bro.
Diva, Miles, and Jordan
Yeah.
Wolf on the same
Yes.
team. Like
That was right around the time when I got into college lacrosse, and I was able to go see them live. Bro, you don't know how cool that was. That was
Oh
tight.
yeah, that's right, because you were down
I'm in
there, huh?
Duke. Yeah, Duke is
we're right next
30
to them
minutes
right now.
away, and $10 to park, $10 for a ticket.
We're in the lacrosse mecca of the South, right?
Yeah, we've
Right
got
here.
we've
That's
got
so dope.
we've got
Duke,
Duke
UNC.
and UNC.
Well, that's about it.
Yeah, and then I mean within driving distance though, there's still like Richmond, Virginia, other schools like that where we could go watch them play. And there's good
Yeah.
MCLA around here too, but nobody's really traveling for the MCLA yet. We'll see. We'll see how that.
Yeah.
They'll continue to grow because they actually have good lacrosse players, like very good lacrosse players, really good athletes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. MCLA is huge out here. People will
Yes,
drive
yeah.
for MCLA games here.
Well, that's because there's not a NCAA team west of Air Force, right? Air Force is like
Air Force, Denver, and then that's it. After that, it's the top tier MCLA programs: Chapman,
yeah.
Oregon.
Arizona State,
Yep.
Oregon,
Oregon.
all those programs. And
Oregon's
people will travel
unis.
for those games for sure.
That's wild
Whew.
because
Yeah.
all of these programs have like D1 women's teams, like Oregon.
It's Title IX.
Stanford.
You got to have matching number of men's and women's sports, and it also is the money side of things because a men's lacrosse team is big and requires a good amount of money to fund.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
especially if you want
it'll-
it to be D1.
Right, and as it should be,
Yeah.
a school that big.
At a
It's
school that big,
you wanna stick
definitely.
them in D2. So.
We got Oregon this weekend. Why? We're in Oklahoma.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
that's not
Yeah.
what happened, so.
No, it's not going to happen. So being new to the show format, is there anything you found super difficult to adjust to? You talked a little bit about it, but I've got this vision of you walking around on the streets just like, hey, damn it. All right, start again. Start again, yeah.
That is exactly what it looks like.
That's what
I
it-
do
yeah.
A lot. It takes me 2 hours to do a 6-minute video. Like it's just like it's a lot of messing up takes because I have a script. I gotta switch apps. I gotta look for my script. Be like, okay, this is my line. I gotta remember it because I'm not gonna remember every line of what I wrote.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though I write my own scripts, I'm writing like generally what I want to say. So I'll reference it and then like I'll say it and I'll watch it back and I'm like, I forgot one of my main points in that. So now I gotta redo it. And then I messed that line up 4 times and the sun's going down. I had work till 5. Like I gotta get this. So like the hardest adjustment has been like timing. I'm getting a little more comfortable on camera, but like streamlining the process has probably been the biggest hurdle. And just figuring out the flow that works for me. It's a work in progress. Got a great team behind me. They're really supportive. The guy that edits all my videos, Nick Bailey, he does some of like the graphics and stuff. Like he's incredible. To me, when I watch back episodes of Weekly Watch, it feels like something Nick made. It doesn't really feel like something that I made in a good way because like it doesn't feel like, oh man, this isn't me. It feels like, dang, Nick. Like if Nick didn't put his fingerprint on this, it would not be as cool as it could have been. Like he's that talented.
That's
Thanks.
her. Yeah, I mean, if you look at our
Love that.
Instagram page, like
Appreciate it.
sometimes I'll write a comment back to people or I'll reply to DMs for her sometimes, but otherwise, like unless I'm reaching out on a business side of things, she handles the creative stuff because she's way better at computers than me. Yeah, she can. That's such an old man way of saying it, and I know I'm 23, but still, like she's way better at the computers. And she makes like the cool little videos with the picture and the title and everything. I could never. I just couldn't.
Right.
So yeah, you're gonna have
It's
a
not
cool
my
one
Steve,
coming
man.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll see.
Right.
So we talked about the horn, but I mean, it was a huge part of my lacrosse career. Yours, anyone before wasn't it like 2014? I don't remember the exact
13 or
year.
14. I can't remember which one of those years, but it was around then.
Yeah, and like I mean, that was right before I graduated high school. So my last year of high school, if it was 14, was without the horn. And I remember it being a weird change and refs not knowing how to like start play again because they were used to waiting like 20, 30 seconds for people to get in and out. Yeah.
Or like ask like, does anyone want a horn? And it's like, can I go yet?
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, that was always the weirdest part of it. But I mean, I had to explain to her.
Yeah.
So basically, for the people that
I'm
don't
sure.
know what the horn is, any of our women's listeners, you probably don't unless you had a brother and you were at all his games. Like it was you basically anyone on the field, any coach, anyone on the sidelines could just yell horn, and then it went, and you had 20 seconds to sub everyone on and off. and it was the most annoying but also like cathartic sound because I was just used to it. So it was just like, oh, there's the horn. All right, I'm gonna jog out here slowly because I don't have to sprint into the hole anymore. Yeah, right. And it was just funny I loved your video about it, and I thought we could talk a little about it and let the people know what it was if they did not. Man. Yeah, but I mean, we've gone so long that I think we'll probably skip over our segments and we'll just get to like 2 more questions for you.
Some questions about you.
Just about you.
Just about you.
In general.
Whatever you guys want.
So, what are some hobbies you have like outside of lacrosse and
photography? Because you've talked about that, so you can't talk about it again. It's off the table.
No, you can talk about anything.
You can't. Don't listen to Ann.
You're locked out. You're done.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in a phase of life where I'm trying to like find out what I can do for hobbies, because right now my life is like, it's work, it's, you know, my relationship, it's lacrosse content, and I'm still trying to find time for photography. One other thing I really like to do is I've been snowboarding. I picked up lacrosse and snowboarding like within the same year of life, basically like around 11 or 12. So I've been snowboarding since then, and I think that's always going to be something that I love to do. My best friend Ethan and I, we grew up snowboarding like in Pennsylvania, which is like, who snowboards in Pennsylvania when you think of it widely.
Yeah.
But you know, we got the
pretty
taste
flat.
for it. We started watching, pretty flat. You know, the whatever little mountain town we could, you know, go ride on the ice, the East Coast ice on. But it really sparked our desire. Like, okay, when we get older, when we start making like money with real jobs, where are we going to snowboard? So we started like, I mean, we subscribed to like Transworld Snow magazine. We started watching like all kinds of videos that snowboard companies would put out. And we started taking notes of all these places we want to go. We want to go to Jackson Hole. We want to go to Park City. We want to go to Mammoth. We want to go to Whistler. We want to go to Japan. We want to go to New Zealand.
Tight.
And we're slowly starting to knock these places off our list. Like we went to Park City a couple years ago. We did Telluride. We did Steamboat. So like now that's going to be something that I like take with me until I can't snowboard anymore whenever that age hits, like, you know, 50 or 60. But like, I think next 2 places we really want to go are Whistler or Japan. So we're still talking about going and riding in those places. But outside of that, I'm actually honestly in a place where I'm trying to like understand where I can pick up a hobby that I don't try to like turn into content. I think that's a trap I fell into with photography and lacrosse. It's like
all of us creatives
content, and now it's like,
like how do I enjoy something without like,
how do I do something without monetizing it? Yeah. Because it's like, well, and that's the world we live in this nowadays too. Everybody tries to monetize everything because you need every cent you can make. And like, I mean,
it's not lying.
Yeah. And it's like,
you ain't lying.
Nah, I'm not. But and I mean, we love this, but I'm still reaching out to businesses, and like I'm still trying to get us picked up somewhere, and that kind of thing. Like she's our social media director. I'm business development. We gave ourselves those titles.
That's not my name.
But
that's not my title.
Or wait, no, director. I can never remember it because she said she put it.
The creative director.
Yeah, creative director. It's a better one than social media. Yeah,
the
creative director.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, and for that she can have a $5 raise.
Yeah,
we'll write it into the contract. With our sticker money. We're selling stickers. Right. Get you one.
Hey, let's go.
But we have one more generic question and then one good one that we always end on. But so I will ask you, what is your dream car? Because you look like I don't know, you look like you would probably like an old big body Mercedes or something like that.
Honestly, I think my dream car is a 68 Mustang. That's always been something. Every time I see like a 68 or a 69, I'm like, because I imagine in my brain, I'm like, yo, I love the body style. I love the way the engine sounds. I love the bench seats.
Yeah.
And like the triple spoke steering wheel.
Yeah.
So I want it black with chrome everything else. Original radio, like original dash, but with like, just let me plug my phone in and use Spotify.
Yeah.
That's the only modification I want. You know?
Somewhere
so
underneath
like,
of the dash, you can plug it in, you know, so it's hidden away.
Plug it in.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want it to look and sound as classic as possible. But like new, like a functioning AC, an engine and a drivetrain with not so many miles on it. Like if I'm creating my dream car,
That's called a
um,
resto mod
or like,
because they restore like cars that didn't have much damage to the body and stuff like that, but they make them modern. So it's a resto mod. And
okay,
yeah, so you want like a resto mod Mustang, which is tight.
yeah,
I meant like, like an affordable car. I figured like you would push like a big body Benz or something classic that was nice and clean,
okay.
but like comfortable and drove nice, something like that.
I don't know what my dream car would be right now. I right now I drive a Hyundai Kona, which is
Those are
a
nice.
new model for 2019. I like mine.
Hyundai
I
gang.
got the one because like,
She's
say
got
that again.
a launcher,
Hyundai
right?
gang. Santa
Yeah.
Fe.
Okay,
Oh, Santa
yeah,
Fe,
let's
yeah.
go. Yeah, I like those. I was driving a Honda Civic before. I wanted something with a little more kick, and I was like, what cars have like a hatchback, a little more space, sit a little higher, and have either a turbo or just something above like 170 horsepower. Like I need
Mm-hmm.
something to like pass people on the freeway with. I was looking at
Exactly.
cars. I was looking at the Rogue. I was like, that's a
Ugh.
CVT, man. I need something that's not a CVT.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I was actually looking at Teslas, and I was like, that's too much money.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need something a little less than 30,000, with a respectable range. So I just went with the
Also the
Kona.
range. I was gonna say the range is like a big limiting factor currently. Once they get charging stations everywhere, and I'm sure California is better, but like once they
Yeah,
get them everywhere, it won't be as big of a deal to own an electric vehicle. And once they get charging times down to like 15, 20 minutes, people can sit 15 to 20 minutes, but like 45, you're not stopping
yeah.
on a road trip for
I don't want to
45
stop.
minutes. Like only old people are doing that and they're going to Cracker Barrel. Like that's it.
Hey, shout out Cracker Barrel though.
It
On
smacks
pancakes
though.
all day.
Yeah, I mean when my parents say let's stop at Cracker Barrel, I'm
I'm
not
like,
like no.
I'll go look in
Yeah.
the toys.
Right.
Yeah, what?
No, I don't want Mama's pancakes.
Yeah, really, like
How
exactly.
dare you?
My fiance's got the worst order there. I don't know. She gets the rainbow trout, and I was like, "Honey, this is definitely just
Breakfast.
from brown water.
You
Like
get
this fish swims in brown water until it's killed. Like you
You
don't. That's not. Why are you eating this?
I only get strictly breakfast at Cracker
Yeah,
Barrel.
I get the breakfast there too
Oh,
because you
You
can't
shouldn't
beat
get
it.
anything else.
No, no, you shouldn't.
Right. Gotta get the breakfast there. I'm with that.
So our last question for you today is a tough one.
A little heavy for you.
Yeah. But what do you want your legacy to be when it's all said and done?
Oh man, you were in line. That is a
Nope.
tough one.
Yeah.
We like to
softball,
surprise
not a
people with
softball.
it.
Thinker.
Yeah.
Oh, my legacy to be. You know, I'm not sure what I want my legacy to be in lacrosse. Um, because that's still evolving, and I think I deal with is a heavy way to put it, but I receive a lot of outside input on what my legacy should be in lacrosse.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
but
I'm sure.
obviously, yeah, everyone's got their opinions on what that should look like, and I agree with some, I don't agree with others. But I'm me at the end of the day, and I think what I want my legacy to be, whether it's for like any kids I might have or my nieces and nephews I do have now, like just outwardly in life, I think what I would right now at 30 years old, what I would want my legacy to be is somewhere along the lines of like just do what comes naturally to you. And maybe that's something that I can say in 2020 that might not be as applicable in 2050. I mean, like maybe it's a sign of the times that I'm able to say something like that. That we live in an age where if you have an idea, you can go for it and you can maybe monetize it and you can, become whoever you want to be in that space. But if it's anything I've learned, it's if you want to do or be something, you should do it without fear of repercussion, without fear of people maybe not liking what you put out. It's you got to do what comes naturally to you and just go for it, basically. And I'm gonna be like that forever, inside and outside of lacrosse, because there might be a day where Diggstape isn't doing a whole lot of stuff anymore. Who knows? Who knows who knows? Life's long.
It is, yeah.
So whatever, even if you want to go be a professional go-kart driver, like you
Do
should
it.
go for that.
Yeah, for
Find a
real.
way to do it.
Unless you're my
life's
size.
short, man.
You can't be a race car driver at my size. Literally, like, in high school, I was drifting a front-wheel drive Sonata. So, like, I wanted that life. I wanted to be a race car driver. I love driving fast and dangerous, but, like, I'm in control.
Let's go.
But I definitely pushed the envelope, and I always wanted to, and I started looking up heights, and they're like 5'6", 5'7", and I was like, oh, yeah, that's
dang.
not for me, man.
Ain't gonna be no Jeff Gordon out
No,
here.
no, not
Cold
today.
game.
I wouldn't even fit through the window of the car. Like, I'd get
Dang.
stuck. They'd
Yeah, I
have
was
to
about to
bring
say.
like a stick out and poke me through.
Bring the fire department.
Yeah,
Get you a custom car.
exactly. Give me a bigger window on one of those NASCARs,
Yeah.
and I'll get through it.
See, that's all you gotta do. Just modify a little bit.
Yeah.
Be all
Well, do you have any? Do you obviously have your Diggstape account? Do you have any other social medias or charities or anything you might want to plug?
Oh man, not off the top of my head. Charities. I mean, there's obviously Bronx Lacrosse
Yeah.
is one. Everyone knows about that one. Owls.
Owls.
In Chi-Town. So I would say probably those off the top of my head. As far as social, nah, man. I'm not really posting anywhere else right now. So just that. If people want to follow me on Twitter, I am on Twitter. In case people don't know that.
I would hope so.
I'm
if
actually
they're
a lot more
listening to
active
this.
on Twitter.
He's very active.
Say what?
I said I would hope so if they're listening to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. But it's good to talk to you guys and good to hang out and meet you, and like talking to people who are taking hold of what they can do in a space to try to make it better and have their own fun with it and build something for themselves. So appreciate you guys.
It's a total work in progress at the moment, but hey,
Yeah.
we're swinging for the fences.
It always is.
Yeah.
It always is.
Well, it
Everything's
always
a
is.
work in
You're right.
progress.
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's like any
Yeah.
coach would say, you're never as good as you can be. So
Right.
yeah.
Wise words.
All right, Ann,
Enjoy the
you
process.
want to tell the people where they can follow you?
Yep. You can follow me on Twitter at the Ann Evans and on Instagram at evans.cr2.
You can follow me at johnsullivan20 on Instagram. All right, so I think that's going to do it for us today. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a 5-star review on your favorite platform to listen to us on. It really does help us out a lot. We can also be found on YouTube now. You can watch these interviews. We do that over video call, so if you enjoy video content, definitely check that out. Also, don't forget to follow our social medias at Low to High Pod on Twitter and at Low to High Podcast on Instagram. Additionally, you can now visit our website, www.lowtohighpod.com, where we'll be putting up editorial content. I know I keep saying that, but we will soon. And also
Eventually.
selling our merchandise, which we are now currently with stickers. So make sure to keep updated on what's going on. Thanks again, Diggs. Really appreciate it. We hope to have you on again sometime soon. And thank you to the listener.